I just got back. It's gonna go off. A burp. Of course, I burped right in camera. I just got back from this event, and I cannot even share about it because I called in sick to go because I knew it was important for me. It might actually have something to do with like my life's purpose, like one of the most important things I could ever fucking do in my entire fucking life, and I left feeling like it might have been one of the single most important things I have ever done for myself. Because y'all, they were all talking about how they felt this strong energy. They were like, oh my God, it's so powerful. It's so strong. And the lady who was running the class kept stopping to look at me. And she talked about how she could see entities. And she kept looking at me. And I didn't know if she was just looking at me because I was being nice. But it's the same way. Like, it's not necessarily her staring at me, but I wish I could have stayed and asked her, but everybody wanted to stop and talk to her afterwards. But I met some nice people, and they're like my people. But the thing is that they all are just like regular people who believe in woo-woo stuff. They don't do energy work. They go there to get their energy work. So they, in theory, knew that they could do energy work, but they didn't know that they could do energy work or how to do it. And the fact that I knew things that the teacher didn't bring up, because I have been looking into this for so long, and here I was thinking, I'm a newbie, I don't know anything. And here are people who are coming right out of like normal life, doing regular jobs, thinking about how they just want to get rid of their arthritis pain so that they can do the best job that they can do or whatever. And here I am, able to do that much more, to the point that I didn't say anything, by the way. I didn't say, they had us introduce ourselves, and I very shyly, awkwardly said, I don't think I've ever admitted this out loud. Like, obviously on here I have, so I guess I was kind of lying. But I said basically, well, I was an atheist up until September, and then, you know, but it actually started in May, but I didn't go into specifications. September is about the time when I started believing in all this stuff. But I basically said, yeah, and then I started tapping into some energy, which I found out later was my prana, which I had no idea that I could do. And she kind of gave me a funny look, and I was like, what, is that weird? I didn't know. I just knew life force, like I had energy coming out my palms and into my feet. That's what she does. That's how she does her work that she does. And she talks about having a pendulum, and I don't have a pendulum. But she did teach me things that I didn't know before, so that's cool. I got some new tips and tricks. I've never tried using a pendulum. I would probably have to use my keys because it's something that has to be charged with my energy, and I wear those things all the time. So my work keys could be my pendulum because they're on a lanyard. I wear them on a lanyard. But yeah, that is very much a refreshing. And she definitely taught me how to upgrade my guides. Like, you have to set them free once you've called them in. I've never done that. I never did that ever. So does that mean I just had like all these angels from all these different jobs just standing around me like my whole life or something? I don't know. I don't feel bad about that. but I released all of them and said just the ones while I was sitting there. I was talking in my head, and said, oh, goodness. And so I released all of them and said, please bring in the ones that are good for the job, which means oh, yeah. So if the angels that were there to help me during that event are done, then you can go too as well if you have other things to do, because you're supposed to release them when they're done, and I didn't do that. So they just kind of get stuck waiting for you to let them go. So that I feel bad about that. But I released a whole bunch of them and called in other ones, and then all of a sudden that's when the energy got like way powerful. Like I could feel it. And everyone else in the room was like, can you feel how powerful this is? There's so much energy. I'm so wired. I'm going to be up all night. I cannot, like the lady, the teacher kept having to stop. She's like, I got to stop and breathe for a second. And she'd go, and she would just have to calmly like take breaths because she can feel the energy. And here I am just smiling and nodding at her because I know, I know what she's talking about. And if you can't feel the energy, you think I'm nuts. But I can feel it. That's how I got here. And it was so validating to have other people just say the same thing. And there's so much more to talk about, and I don't know where to even start. I don't even know where to start. I have no idea. I will have to get you caught up. There are videos that I haven't posted on YouTube. I don't know if I'm going to put this on TikTok or not. Probably not, because I will get in trouble. The one on YouTube is not known by any of my coworkers or anything. Well, one of my coworkers technically knows about it, but whatever. But TikTok, and I skipped work, so I guess I can't share this on there. But man, I don't have words. I have been working as a custodian this whole time, and this lady has this whole center, and she does the same thing that I do. And she goes in and she has this authority, like she can teach the class. And there were things that I feel like, not saying she didn't teach it well. She was a good teacher. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there were a couple of things, because she taught me a lot that I didn't know. Where there were things that I had never heard, or if there were things that I felt like, back up. There were things that I felt that I knew more about than she did, that I probably could have explained it a little bit better than she did. It felt like. It doesn't necessarily mean I have to try it and practice, but that whole thing that I have felt called to be a teacher, the whole thing about being called to be a leader, the whole feeling like I'm supposed to be doing this. And there are people like her going around just doing it because, I don't know, she had the gumption, she had the self-esteem, I guess. I don't know. But she was doing it, and I can too. Absolutely. I don't have to be keeping myself down and struggling. I can do things that will help, for real, other people. The thing that bothers me is that I'd prefer to be helping people who really need it, and those are the ones that can't afford it. And that is the problem with living here in this reality. Because I can't just be like, oh, you can't afford? Well, I'll just do it, because then someone who did pay is going to be like, I will sue you because whatever, because that's what we do. I don't know. But yeah, I really, really feel better. Bye.